Now we come to the session 17. We know the previous session method of integrations, method of in complex integrations. First, method of integration with the the method of the path integration, region of the integration of region, line integrations, etc. See, I give in this session ideas of basic definitions. What's a region? Simply connected region, multi-connected region, or like that. Now, a simply connected region and multi-connected region. See, what mean that? So, we take a draw as a, we take an axis as a region. So, suppose if we take an draw a circle in the xy region, region. See, this is the unit circle. So, if we take a mod z is equal to 2, a center as a origin, and the radius is 2. Center is origin and radius 2. Inside, suppose if we take a connected region, this is connected, this is the outside boundary, a boundary of that. See, a region, so is bounded on xy plane, x axis, y axis, center is origin, Similarly, if we take one more region, so center again, mod z is equal to 1. Yeah, inside this circle, radius is 1. A center is origin and radius is 1. So we take one more, the area. This is not a area. It's not a unit circle. Mod z equal to 2 or mod z. So simply I take this. So this is away from the origins. Away from the origin is a boundary area, a simple area. This is the area. Maybe xy plane, x dash y plane, y dash x dash plane, x dash y dash plane. Somewhere this is the rate. See, we observe in the graph. See, in this area, this mod z is equal to 2 means the center of a circle with the center is origin and the radius 2. Center is origin and radius 2. Here, center is origin and the radius is 1. Here, this is not a new circle, multi-connected region. Yeah, so away from the origins of the language. See, a region in which every closed curve can be sand to point without a passing out of the region. So it's called simply connected region. Without passing out of the region, it's called a simply connected region. Otherwise, it's called a multi-connected region. So multi-connected regions. See, you observe in the graph 1. This is a unit circle with center is equal to 0 and the radius 2. Yeah, see, this is the region inside that, whatever may be the area. This is the bounded. This is the region is simply connected. Thus is also is connected, but one more area is there. This is one more area. This is one more area. This is one more area is there. Yeah, this is the area is there. It's called a multi-connected region. Here, more than 2 or 3 connected area. This is the simple, yeah, this is area, this is area. This is called multi-connected region. See, we come to the what's the region, what's the domain. See, if we collect a set S, we collect all the points in a set. A set S of a point in a Arganda planes, in the complex plane, simply say complex plane. A set S of a points in a Arganda plane is said to be a connected set. If any two of its points can be joined by a continuous curve. Any two of a points can be joined by a continuous curve. All of whose points belong to set S. All of whose points belong to set S. An open connected set is called open domain or open region. An open connected set is called an open domain or open region if the boundary point of S is also added to the open domain. Then it is called a closed domain. See, suppose if you take S is a boundary, so set up all this area. S is a in the S is a unit circle something here. If you take all point in this unit circle, this unit circle means in a not unit. If you take S is a set up all point in this unit in the circle form. This is simply say Arganda plane or complex plane. This is called complex plane or Arganda plane. Is said to be a connected joint any two point, joint point. All the point lies within the unit, and this point lies in the set S. The set S. So, an open connector set is also open domain. If we collect its boundary, the boundary points, boundary, right? See, this added also. If we take collecting boundary points, this point is called closed domain or this is open domain. So, if you come to the Jordan arc, simply say. Suppose x of t and y of t. If you take x of t or y of t are continuous real valued function in the range alpha less than or equal to t less than or equal to beta. Then the set of the point z in the Arganda plane determine the equation z equal to x of t plus I y of t. Z equal to x of t plus I y of t is called a continuous arc. A point z1 is called multi-point of the arc if the equations say z1 is equal to x of t plus I y of t. Z1 is a point, multi-point, then you say z1 is equal to x of t plus I y of t. If you call this equation as 1. If this satisfies more than one values of t in the given range, a multi-point z1 of the arc is called a double point. If you connect one more point, it's called a double point. If the equation 1 satisfies two values of t, the equation 1 satisfies the two values of t in the given range. A continuous arc without a multiple point is called a Jordan arc. So, but this is continuous without a multiple point. Yes means a continuous point, single point is called a Jordan arc. Continuous and simple or single point is called Jordan arc. You see, otherwise you say a continuous and without multiple point is called Jordan arc. If the endpoint t equal to alpha and t equal to beta of the continuous arc coincide, and if the arc has only one multiple point, that is say which is the double point corresponding to the two terminal value of t. So which is the double point corresponding to two terminal value of t. Then the arc is called simple Jordan closed curve. Then the arc is called simple Jordan closed curve. See, simply connected, simply say Jordan. Single values, continuous single value is called Jordan. If it's not a single, it's a continuous, it's not a single value, it's not a Jordan. So if we come to the Jordan theorem, what is the theorem? In Jordan curve theorem, it states that a simple closed Jordan curve divides a Arganda plane into two open domains which have the curve as a common boundary. One of this domain is bounded and is called interior domain. So if one of the domain is bounded, it's called interior domain, while the other is unbounded and is called exterior domain. See, observe it. So interior domain and exterior domain. See, interior domain is bounded and exterior domain is not bounded. See, interior domain is bounded and exterior domain is not bounded. So simply unconnected regions. What does mean simply? We already know the previous slide. What's a counter? By counter, we mean a continuous chain of a finite number of regular arc. Continuous finite number of regular arc. If the counter is closed and does not intersect itself, the counter is closed, does not intersect itself, then it is closed. Then it is called closed counters. Then it's called closed counter. For example, boundary of the triangles and rectangles. See, if you take a triangles, in the triangle or rectangle, whatever may be this, in the rectangle, the boundary is closed, does not intersect, is closed. but does not intersect itself is called. One more if we take Weierstrass M test. Weierstrass M test is supposed if you take absolute values of u or un of z less than or equal to m, means simply say a bounded set. So if absolute values of un of z less than or equal to m are mn, where mn is independent of z in a domain R. Mn is independent of z in a domain R, and summation mn is the series of positive constant is convergent. Series of positive constant is convergent. Then the series summation un of z, then series un of z is uniformly convergent. The summation un of z is uniformly convergent. So we come to some definitions, simple definition of multiple connected region. We already know the derivative of in the complex conditions at a derivative of z equal to z naught. The same we give. Now the basic given epsilon, so simply say is a lemma. Given epsilon positive, it is possible to divide a region inside C into finite number of meshes, either a complete square Cn or partial square Dn. If a complete square are called Cn, if a partial square called Dn, such that within each mesh there exists a point z0 for which absolute values of f of z minus f of z0 divided by z minus z0 minus derivative of f of z0 less than or equal to epsilon. Simply say strict inequality. Sorry, I'm saying the absolute values of f of z minus f of z0 divided by z minus z0 minus derivative of f of z0 less than epsilon for all z in the mesh. See, this is definitions. Simply say absolute values of f of z minus f of z0 divided by z minus z0 is derivative. But this made very less. The difference of derivative and definition of derivative made very less. Means proof of the lemma, let's say, suppose the lemma is not true. Suppose assume that lemma is not true. It means that the lemma fails to at least in one mesh. Subdivide this mesh by means of a line joining the middle point of the opposite side. So middle of the opposite side. If there is still at least one part which does not satisfy the condition of 1, again subdivide that part in the same way. This process comes to the end after the finite number of steps. Then the condition 1 is satisfied for every subdivision, or process may go on indefinitely. In the second case, we obtain the sequence of squares are each contained in the preceding ones. So continuously process continue the previous appears continuous, which as z0 as it is limit point at which the condition 1 is not satisfied. Of course, z0 is interior point of C. Since the condition 1 is not satisfied at z0, and so if not satisfied, the definition is totally failed. Means absolute values of f of z minus f of z0 divided by z minus z0 minus derivative of f of z0 not less than epsilon. It's not less than epsilon, where mod z minus z0 not less than delta. But limit absolute, but derivative does not exist. Delta being a small number of depending upon epsilon. Delta being a small depending upon the epsilon. This declares that f of z is not a differentiable at z0, so that is not differentiable at z0, so that f of z is not analytic at z0, contrary to the initial assumptions that f of z is analytic at every interior point of C. This is the main. So this is initial assumption that f of z is analytic at every interior point of C. Hence the lemma is true for f of z minus f of z0 divided by z minus z0 minus derivative f of z is equal to mu times of z. So this where absolute not mu less than epsilon means absolute values of mu less than epsilon. So mu tends to 0 as z tends to z naught. Thus f of z is equal to, we can write a cross multiply, or we can simply say f of z is simplify f of z is equal to z minus z naught of mu z plus f of z naught plus z minus z naught of derivative of f of z naught. So this is the time we play. So this is true. So see, the lemma is say the absolute values of difference of the absolute values. So derivative and definition of derivative should be made very small. Made very small. So absolute values of f of z minus f of z naught divided by z minus z naught minus derivative of f of z made very small. This is the lemma says. This called lemma is called this max. See, epsilon values should be made very small. This is the possibility. The lemma is not true. By assuming lemma is not true, the condition is false. The condition is false. This true, condition is false. Suddenly, totally lemma is failed. So, assuming true, the lemma is true. That is say this is the value, absolute values of f of z minus f of z naught divided by z minus z naught minus derivative of z less than